Hi, welcome to Dolly-doovers. My name is Renee Galvin, and today we are going to be doing Lucas the spider, and we're actually making him from Little Coconut. So if you have not seen Lucas the spider, he is the cutest little spider on YouTube. Alright, to start, we're going to do the base of Lucas. And we just do that with tinfoil, wrap it up so it makes a good, nice base for his, he has a long abdomen. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there with glue. And now hot glue won't adhere it permanently, but when we go ahead and put our epoxy over, it will adhere it permanently. So now I'm doing the same thing with the tinfoil, adding on all the extra limbs of his face, of his legs, all those little pieces. And this is making his extra leg. So right now we're using epoxy, and I did a long coil, rolled out a long coil, and now I'm just shaping the eyes that Lucas has. They kind of protrude out a little bit, so I'm trying to give that illusion by making this coil around Little Coconut's eyes. These tools you've seen me use a million times. They're little silicone tools for sculpting. Now that both of the eyes are finished, I'm just patting them into place, making sure they're a perfect circle. And I'm adding the extra eyes. If you look at his face, he actually has 4 eyes that you can see. And that is what I'm doing right now, is adding those, the next pair of eyes. Now the top of his head is kind of like a heart shape. It kind of has a little bow in the middle. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm just making the head shape the way that it should be, which Little Coconut is perfect for this because she already has that kind of head shape with her braids. It gives you that same illusion. So that's one of the reasons I picked her. But I'm just adding it to be a little bit more dramatic. And then you can see I'm not totally being perfect in making sure that I get it nice and flat because he's gonna have lots of hair and lots of texture. So now I'm going in and just doing the bottom of his head. And again, not perfect because there'll be a lot of texture. Working with the back side here, we just did a flat piece, and I'm just covering the back of the spider, making sure that I get all in the creases so that that crease between the head and the back just stays there and it looks more like a spider shape. And again, doesn't have to be perfect. From here on out, I'm just going to cover all of the tinfoil pieces that I've already shaped into the epoxy and give it a nice shape. And then you'll start to see me add texture with the tip of this silicone tool. Now, as I'm adding texture all around, I'm making sure that everything is in the final shape that I want it to be before we let it dry. And I'm also working from one side to the other side. And that's just because I don't want to touch it too much, because anytime you touch it, the texture will go away if you handle it too much. Once I add all this fur like a maniac here, then you're gonna see me dry. It's gonna be a little while. Usually 24 hours is good, and make sure that it's nice and dry. And then you'll see me add, here you go, there's the final result. Then you'll see me add paint. I used acrylic paint. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, just acrylic paint. Now I'm gonna cover this whole thing with brown. Like you can see here, I just used Folk Art multi-surface. The color is called Coffee Latte, I think is what it said. But I just use this as a base color. Once Lucas is totally finished brown, we're going to paint the insides of his eyes orange. And you'll see that I've kind of done this here already. This, I just covered the whole thing. I figured it'd be way easier if I just cover the whole thing with orange, a couple of coats, and then go back through and put the blacks and highlights on rather than try to keep the blacks from the LOL. This will take a couple of coats to cover just because the orange is a hard color to master. Now you'll see me go back in. This is a darker brown. I may have even added black, I believe is what I did. And then I'm just going in and making shadows in here, getting in the creases of all those little hair marks that I used. And I'm making texture into the paint. And I'm just using a tiny paintbrush, and I'm just going back and forth, nothing crazy or extravagant. Once that's done, then I start adding highlights. So we have the middle color, which is the brown, the darker color, which is the dark brown black, and then where I'm actually using a white, almost like a tan color for the highlights. And I'm just putting that all over, doing the same thing while those eyes dry. Now you can see here I did go ahead and add the black circles, and now I'm just adding the white highlights to give it the Lucas cute, round, cute little eyeballs that he does have. He's so adorable. It's the only spider that I do like. So there is Lucas with all his little highlights. I'm going in and touching anything that I needed to maybe bring a little bit more life to. So remember the coconut QT head that we used and the crawling body? This is our Lucas from that. Isn't that crazy? There is an LOL under there. You guys just saw me do it. So here's Lucas. I will add the links to his videos in the comments, and remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!